here from the ADHD Survival Guide. This video is for Mental Health Awareness Week, and this year the theme is relationships. This is a great theme because you can look at it from so many different angles in terms of mental health. The relationship with yourself, the relationship with friends and how important that is, and of course, relationship with partners. It was difficult to choose because all these areas are affected by ADHD. But in the end, I decided to go for how my ADHD affects my wife's mental health. And my wife agreed to be in this video. Here she is. No, this isn't my wife. But I would marry you if I wasn't taken. No, my wife had to go do something important, like go to work or whatever. Oh well, we'll talk behind her back. At first, when someone's interested with a person who, unbeknownst to them, has ADHD, I imagine it's like, oh my god, they're so spontaneous and fearless. We do so much fun stuff when they're around. They're so aloof, I want to know more. But when you're living together, they realise, wait, that wasn't conscious spontaneity, that was chronic impulsivity and a complete disregard for safety. And that wasn't them being aloof, they're just not listening to a word I say. There's a very high rate of divorce among couples who have to deal with ADHD, as the disorder puts massive stress on relationships due to many complex reasons. Some problems that inattention and impulsivity can cause may seem small and uneventful alone, like forgetting to pay bills, or don't turn up to dinner dates or events, or don't take the rubbish out when you promised you would 5 seconds ago. It's more the emotional fallout for both partners and the negative patterns that are linked to these types of things and more happening repeatedly due to ADHD symptoms. The partner without ADHD can feel lonely or ignored, and they can feel stressed as they increasingly feel like they can't rely on their partner to take any responsibility. Whilst the person with ADHD can feel criticised and judged, triggering the lifelong fear in the ADHD, which is the belief that they can't do anything right and they're stupid. Ah, this sun is coming to get me. Haha! I win, son. But please don't leave, we never see you here in Scotland. I love you really. Anyway, these types of events, they can come from nowhere at any point. There's been countless times where my time blindness and inattention has caused stress to my wife. I once disappeared for 2 hours when my wife asked me to nip out some milk before people came over for food. I have no idea where I went. I can't imagine how frustrating that would have been. At worst, she thought I'd been hit by a car. At the very least, she was stuck there while I was meant to be helping. But I know on my part, I felt very angry at myself, not really understanding how I could have done that. Which brings me to the next difficulty in an ADHD relationship. The anger and frustration at yourself causing out of proportion emotional outbursts. Ugly! Due to the physical and brain chemistry problems of the disorder, ADHDers find it hard to moderate their language. Language? I mean emotions. Well, language as well probably. Sometimes the smallest thing can cause complete meltdown, which of course is painful for the ADHDer. Even if the feelings aren't really warranted by the situation, it's still being felt by the person. But what's also hard is the partner has to deal with this. They feel like they can't talk about anything, like they're walking on eggshells and trying to avoid certain topics, so communication breaks down. The key is to try and acknowledge, rather than be in denial, and accept how the ADHD affects the relationship. If you learn about the disorder, either through diagnosis or by yourself, you find it's easier to navigate. Once you both know why a certain behaviour happens, it can cause it to feel less personal. And you've got to learn to laugh at yourself. This took me quite a long time, but I'm getting there. My wife is much better at it than me. I accidentally dropped her phone out a car window the other day. God knows how, but we found it and the phone was fine. She laughed about it, but I was upset about how I could have done something so dumb. I mean, I essentially threw her 200 quid phone out of the window of a speeding car. What adult does that? But I somehow got away with it that time, so I should stop feeling bad about it and save it for when something else inevitably goes wrong. Because it will! But that's the adventure, isn't it, folks? Aha! Looks like we didn't have to wait that long. Whilst making this video, I have forgotten I was meant to pick up my wife's car from the mechanics, and now it is closed. Living the dream. Good luck, ADHDers.